Welcome to the Session X podcast. In this episode, I sit down with one of the most exciting athletes in big air kiteboarding today, Jeremy Burlando. Whether you're a fan of big air kiteboarding or not, you are guaranteed to be inspired by this journey of determination, perseverance, and pure heart. I've been obsessed with action sports my entire life. A single universal language of pure stoke. In these timeless moments, we experience the greatest joys and purest emotions. Life makes sense, completely present, in harmony with nature. In studying the evolution of extreme sports, it's easy to identify a direct link to ultimate human performance. Monk-like focus, body and mind mastery, mind-blowing applications of courage, confidence, and creativity. But where does it come from? How do we get it? And most importantly, how can more people access these superhuman qualities? My name is Matt Schollard. I'm a peak performance and mindset coach, and I'm also an extreme athlete. Together with some of the greatest action sport professionals on earth, we'll drop into the powerful lessons found within their chosen disciplines and explore how you can apply them toward your own journey of greatness. Welcome to Session X Podcast, the intersection of extreme sports and peak performance. A quick disclaimer for anybody who's listening to this podcast, we are not in the studio. We are on the island of Tenerife in El Merino, in the Canary Islands, so the audio may or may not be as awesome as it could be. And then for video, same thing, man. We're sitting out here on this incredible view.
Yeah, welcome to my home swim, man.
Bro, your home, man. What a cool place. So I'm sitting here with the current third place champion, Red Bull King of the Air, the full power Tarifa champ, absolute weapon in the scene of big air, and my homie, Jeremy Burlando.
For sure, man.
Bro, welcome, man. Dude, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. I have watched you all year, and we're gonna talk all about it. But bro, thank you so much for taking the time to come chat. But first of all, dude, this is your home. This is incredible. Like,
yeah, man.
How long have you lived here for?
I've been here 8 years.
8 years?
8 years since I was 11.
Okay.
And since then, always stayed here, yeah.
Did you move here for the wind? Your dad brought you here? Or?
Yeah, correct. I wanted to be someone in kiting, and I think this was one of the best spots to train, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
Such like a hidden gem, right? Like, I mean, everyone, I'm from Tenerife. Like, okay, cool. And you Google it, and it's just like this beautiful. But bro, you don't appreciate it until you're like sat here. Holy cow, man, that's amazing.
And it's good because it's still not so touristic, you know?
Yeah.
So you can really feel like the experience of like the beach and like the wind and all like the setup is really great, you know?
Yeah, it's very like, I don't know, it's like comforting. It's just like everything, you walk everywhere in town. It's like small, but it doesn't feel like crowded. It just feels like just comfortable, man. What a beautiful place.
Beautiful.
All right, cool, brother. Well, hey, man, what is it? What are we? A week and a half, 2 weeks past? You took third place at this year's Red Bull King of the Year. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, man. Still feel like super overwhelmed or like super good about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's been a lot of work, and of course, getting third was great to show what I was able to do, you know. And now it's motivating me even more to keep pushing, you know.
Yeah. Let's go back to King of the Air 2022, which leading up to that season, or leading up to King of the Air that season, you had a really strong season. You won, what was it, Tatajuba Fest?
Tatajuba, yeah.
Yep.
And then I won Gran Canaria here.
Okay.
Bigger competition that's local, but it was Lorenzo too, and we always used to take part of it since we were small. And it's been quite strong because I trained hard last year, and I wasn't performing as well in competitions. I had a lot of mindset kind of small issues, you know.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna talk about those. That's where I want to go.
For sure.
But talk to me about King of the Air last year. You were in the semifinals.
No. I got
quarterfinals
to round two.
Round two.
I didn't even make it. Yeah.
What was the trick you were trying to get?
So what happened last year is I thought I was prepared, but then everything went off the plan. I like hit the water, and my mind was just not there anymore, you know. It was just, I was trying to get to do all these tricks, but I wasn't really focusing on what the competition was about, really, you know.
What was it about? What was the competition
I mean,
about?
King of the Air is about going big and most extreme as possible, you know.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was just trying to make everything so technical and stuff, and it didn't work out. Also, because I came from Tatajuba, that was a different competition, and it was all about technical stuff and like more like a bit, let's say, dangly thing,
Right.
not so extreme. And I think I didn't adapt correctly to King of the Air last year, and but it's good because I took a lot of experience of that. A loss is, I think, great too, to like really know what you could do better next time.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's what I try to do this year.
So when you went out for your second heat at last year's King of the Air, where was your mindset?
My mindset there was already like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I thought I'm like, it's done for me. I didn't battle till like I could no more. I went, I tried. The first minutes of the heat, I went great, and then I started to like see the other competitors doing like good double loops and all the stuff. It was Gio, by the way.
Yeah.
And then my mind just started to go crazy. I tried to do everything, and like it went just really bad, let's say.
Yeah.
But still, like I said, it's good because you learn.
So after King of the Air last year, and that mindset kind of stuck with you for a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah. I was it was in my head spinning around the whole time. I was like, shit, I lost, and like I put myself in a really like bad place mentally, I think, because I was like, what am I doing, and what should I do, and all this stuff. And then slowly I just started taking time for myself, did a few comps, went a bit better, and just found the right direction where I should go, and just took like time for myself, trained myself with like just myself, just kiting out there, and slowly I got back to like be really focused in kiting and competition.
Yeah, bro. I think we spoke shortly after King of the Air last year, and that was the direction. It was like, you need to return to kiteboarding because you love to kite, right? There was so much of this, we call it extrinsic or external pressure on you. You had pressure from your sponsors, you had pressure from your friends, you had pressure from your fans, pressure that was like, well, here's this young, up and coming, big air savage, and like you have this pressure that's put on you, and then you go out to King of the Air, the competition doesn't go how you want it to, and like you sort of like lost sight of what it is that you love to do, which is just go out and kite, man.
Correct.
Go out and send it with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you come back here after last year's King of the Air?
Yeah. I went straight here, and I was really confused about everything. I didn't even know what I was doing anymore.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, it's like, it's at the end what pushes me is the love for the sport, and I kind of had to find it back. I had to reprove myself. Why am I doing this? And I think it was a good thing last year that I didn't went through.
Absolutely.
I learned a lot about it. So
yeah. So when you came home and you took that break from training and just were like, I'm gonna go out and send, I'm gonna go out and kite. Was there like a particular session that you had, or like a period of time that you didn't focus on competition, you just focused on kiting?
Before King of the Air last year, I was really like under pressure. Like if I wasn't doing a trick, I was just frustrating myself so hard and applying even more pressure on myself. And that pressure was breaking me, I think. And that's what broke me last year.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I just started having fun on the water and doing all the stuff what I used to do back in the days, just having fun, trying new tricks. You fail, no problem. You get back up and you do it again until you land it, And I kind of started like this and just kept going with these sessions, and it just went better,
Yeah.
I think at the end you gotta love what you do, and find why you're doing it.
Yeah, for sure. And then while you were sort of, we'll call it regrouping after that King of the Air, you had a break until the first competition was what, GKA?
Yeah, GKA, Lords of Tram.
Okay, so Lords of Tram, what'd you have, 2-3 months time?
Yeah, I had 2
prepare?
months.
Okay.
2 months.
So let's just kind of briefly talk me through that period of time in like preparing for Lords of Tram. Were you here the whole time?
So when I came back from King of the Air on, let's say, end of December, I stayed here for a few weeks, took some time off, and then I went straight to Vietnam to like start getting the kites ready, and start to train already a bit. But it took me a lot of time to like get the equipment ready for the comp, and it was really hard, let's say, and we were not sure if we were ready to get a perfect kite for that competition, and that started playing a bit with my mind already.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, maybe my gear is not ready. I gotta perform double as hard, and it's kind of what I did. I tried to like do it the best out of myself, but we were not ready still with like good competition gear, you know.
Did you feel that at that point you had made all this progress? You took all the lessons that you learned at King of the Air, came home, regrouped, trained, and it's like you get to Vietnam, you realize your kite's not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Did that affect you mentally?
Yeah, it did. It did. I was still in a bit in the space with my head, you know, because I still had like King of the Air thoughts, and like I trained hard again, but I was still not like excited about it, you know. When you go to a comp, I feel you need to be like really excited and really like want to go out there and perform, you know, and show what you do. And at that time, I think I was still not all on the place, you know. I was still a bit on space, you know, trying to make the kite work, and when I was crashing something, it's like, oh, maybe the kite isn't working, and I was trying to blame it on the gear, and at the same time, my progression was going back. So after that comp, I was like, all right, don't mind about the gear. The gear is what it is. Just do it. Do what you know how to do and just have fun, you know. And after that, I came back and
after Vietnam.
After Lords of Tram.
After Lords of Tram.
Like Vietnam, I came back.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Lords of Tram quickly.
Yeah.
You had a really strong first heat at Lords of Tram.
Yeah, the first one was great. It was like it boosted my confidence, and then in second round, it just I don't know what happened. It sometimes it happens to me like first round super strong, and second heat is like oof. Wait, I got too confident, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of got too much, I was feeling too good to it, you know, and my mind was not in the comp, you know? It was like already I'm going through, you know? And that's what like cracked me in the Tram.
We spoke about that right after, and I think we discussed like training with more consequences. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like how at your first heat, when it's like, okay, if I go, regardless of what happens, I'm progressing to round two. When that external pressure was off of you, you were able to go out, and you came out the gate at Lords of Tram and GK Tarifa, which we'll talk about next.
Yeah.
You came out with just like everything. It's like, oh, there he is. There's Jeremy, like a little kid just out having fun, flying a kite, sending huge, big smile on your face, claiming like you always do. And then the second that the consequence started to like present itself, I watched you kind of like pull back a little bit. Yeah. And I know you probably don't want to talk about this stuff, but like I think it's so important because you overcame all this shit, bro. Like you clearly, like your mindset by King of the Air, you were an absolute weapon. So tell me just a little bit about that like second heat at the GK, or excuse me, at Lords of Tram, where like the pressure of the competition started to creep in, and you had some of those King of the Air thoughts.
Yeah, because basically I was there, and I thought what happens to me is sometimes like, or back in the days, it used to happen that I was like in the comp, and if I lose, I'm gone, and that was getting into my mind, you know. My mind was setting up to lose almost, you know. And because it's one shot, you go, you win, you go, you lose. So I was applying pressure to myself. So I was stressing so much about that in the comp I was not focused on the tricks. I was just stressing about not to lose.
Yeah.
But if you stress about not to lose, you're gonna like manifest your thoughts, and it's gonna be like this, you know, instead of just focusing in the actual thing you gotta do.
Yeah. How did you get beyond that?
Dude, it's been hard, you know. It's been like really meditating. I feel like meditating helped me a lot, and just be by myself, connect with the nature, and start thinking about everything on how you should do it. And of course, if you think in a positive way, I think it will manifest, you know, like the thoughts will manifest into reality, because that's how I got over it, you know.
I saw a turning point in at GK Tarifa where you had an unbelievable first heat. Just
Yeah.
showed up, hit the water, and then I don't know, maybe was it the semis or the quarters? It was you against Lorenzo.
Yeah, semis.
And you came out and you just dunked all over Lorenzo. He had a poor start, and you just came out and were slaying it.
Yeah.
Was there like something in that that maybe felt like when you and Lorenzo would kite together as kids? Did like you could tell that the competition was not weighing on you in that heat?
Yeah, yeah.
Was that how it felt?
Yeah, because we both know the tricks we know how to do. You know, I know what tricks he does. He knows what I do, and we kind of did this. We just did tricks, pushed each other in the heat, but it came a lot into strategy there. You know, because competition is not the same as training.
Of course.
Because training is just you go tricks, we push each other, but competition is a lot of strategy too. And he went with the strategy with the doubles, you know, and my strategy was just to go big. And GK rewards a lot of like technicality. They don't really, I mean, if you do it big for sure, they're gonna reward it, but they don't mind if you do it a bit lower and a lot of technicality. And he won that time because of a good strategy. And I learned from that too, of course, because I was like, okay, I have to work now on my strategy. I think like the mindset is good because I know how to throw it down. It was just like a bit of lack of strategy.
Yeah.
And I kind of worked it through the further competitions, you know.
So coming off of GK Tarifa, you felt your mindset was dialed. Are you at least were learning and applying all the lessons from King of the Air, from Lords of Tram? You were like, you knew that you were heading in that right direction.
Yeah. It was on a 90%, let's say. It was not 100%.
Right.
And
but it gave you time to shift your focus from mindset to like, okay, now it's more strategy. Now you can look ahead to the year.
Yeah.
Were your sights set on King of the Air? Was that like your?
I mean, I think every day about it. Right now, I'm already thinking about the next one, you know.
Yeah.
But how to say? It put me in the right direction.
Yeah.
All these comps that were not good, they like put my sight into the direction it should go. You know, it cleared my vision.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So after the GK events, we were coming into early summer. What's next?
I came to Hood River.
You did come to Hood River.
Yeah, man. We hit the gym, the cold plunge super hard.
We hit it.
Yeah,
we
man.
hit it really hard, man.
And that made me understand, like, about you always taught me about like the quitting thing, like don't quit, just don't break under pressure. And you really made me like understand it about hitting the cold plunge. Because you remember the first time I just hit it and I was like, no, I gotta get out of this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, nothing will happen. You're not gonna die, you know? Just it's in your mind.
All in your mind.
So I just tried to do it, went there 8 o'clock in the morning, and slowly we kept doing it, you know?
I don't think it was even slowly. I think you had your first day, you got in the cold plunge and immediately got out. It was just like sensory overload.
Yeah.
And then I let you have that experience. I needed you to have that experience. You needed to feel like that you were defeated.
Yeah.
But then you did whatever you did. You watched everybody else go in. You went through your process, and then you came back. It was just the next morning. It wasn't even slowly. The next morning you got back in, did, 3 minutes before we went to the gym.
Yeah.
But you processed and learned those lessons very quickly.
Yeah.
Like very quickly. And yeah, that was when we were doing that. There was two reasons that we were in the cold. One, then the biggest one was mindset, right? We needed you to be uncomfortable and to learn how to turn off that voice. And you did, bro.
Yeah.
You did exceptional. And then we hit the gym. We always hit the gym.
Comfortable in the uncomfortable, man.
Comfort in being uncomfortable.
Correct.
Absolutely. What else did you take away from that Hood River trip? Because you were there. We were there. You were there. What, a month?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. The chemo was there a month.
2 weeks, yeah. I think a lot of stuff, like from the gym to like body performance, and like I really saw where I can get to, you know, and what I can actually do, you know. Because before I was like, I was limiting myself, and since then I was just like, all right, we can go beyond. We can go to the space, man. It's infinity.
Yeah,
so
bro.
I was like, I'll do this, you know.
Of all the athletes that I work with, you're one of my favorites, bro. you always put in the work, right? If I'm like, it doesn't matter if we're separate across the world. If I'm like, hey, go do this, I know that you go and do it.
For
And
sure.
it's like that's that drive and that's that work ethic that sets you, to be the champion. All right, so after Hood River, you leave. Then where do you go?
After Hood River, I came back. Oh, I went to Sicily to my high school for my birthday right after.
Your 18th birthday?
18th birthday,
Yeah.
and I had to. And then I came back and I just stayed all the way. Conditions were so good here. And I think the time I spent here after Hood River like pushed me on the direction, and this spot right gave me the conditions to train what we started,
Yeah.
and to keep going. And
isn't it cool to look back? Like we can sit here in these chairs and we can look back to King of the Air last year, where the day after King of the Air, we went to the gym, we went into the cold water, you had your loss, you regrouped, you started working on your mindset. Okay, good, my mindset's there. Okay, cool, now I'm gonna start working on strategy. Okay, my strategy's getting there. Okay, now I'm gonna really start like sharpening my body, getting stronger, getting faster, eating better, sleeping better, nutrition, hydration, stretching, recovery. And then it's just like you're slowly, like a piece of wood that you just have a knife and you're just getting sharper and sharper and sharper. So then you come home after Hood River, where we worked a lot with your body, we worked a lot with mindset. And now, what were your sights set on? Megaloop, right?
True.
Yeah. Everybody forgot Megaloop this year.
True. So I came back here, trained, had perfect conditions. I wasn't even looking up to Megaloop. It just came like this,
Did you find that helped? Was that helpful?
Yeah, because I had no pressure. When I was kiting here, before that, I didn't even know what's going to happen. I was just going, having fun. It was 40 knots. Just push for myself, and compete against myself. And Megaloop showed up. I had a crazy flight to get there, man.
Yeah, what was how'd you get there?
So a few days before, there was no forecast, and I was like, all right, I go to Mykonos, because Lorenzo and Andrea were there, and the conditions were epic, and I was like, here, it was basically no wind. I was like, all right, I'll just hit Mykonos and train a bit there. Arrived in the morning to Mykonos, and they confirmed Megaloop.
The day you got there?
The same day. And it was, actually, no, it was even crazier. Because I got there and they said yellow light for Kaldawai. So I was like, all right.
That's right.
So I was like, all right, I gotta take a flight, go to Denmark. And the time I was about to board the plane, so I kited the whole day, in Mykonos. Took a flight in the night, and the time I was boarding the plane to Denmark, I got a call. You gotta come to Megaloop first, and then you can go to Kaldawai. And I'm like, no way. So I was on a flight to Denmark, and I arrived in Denmark, and the time I would arrive, they would have confirmed Kaldawai or not. So I got to Denmark, and they said, no, it's not gonna happen. I was like, fuck, So I rushed the flight to Amsterdam to get to Megaloop. I arrived in like 3 a.m. in the morning, stayed, had a bit of sleep. And then the comp was on the day after, man. I already could hear the wind from the hotel, man. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
I think one of the craziest conditions I
Was that the
rode.
gnarliest you've ever ridden? Like in those conditions? Because you hadn't ridden that spot before, had you?
Never.
Yeah.
I just first heats go, But I liked it, actually.
What did you like about it?
I mean, the way the wind was hitting and the way the waves hit, it was really similar to here. And I just felt in full harmony. Like, sometimes you go out there, you see all the like messy waves, messy wind, and all that gusty thing, and like I felt good in that thing, It felt like my place, and just went and did what I knew how to do.
Yeah.
And
you did well. Fourth
place.
Yeah.
I got into the final, and I think it was one of the first big competitions where I got into the final.
How'd that feel?
I was like, wow, it's starting to pay off. The work is starting to pay off. And when I was in the final, I didn't even think I was in the final, I was like, I'm in it. Like, that's it. I just go ride and do what I know how to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, The other ones rode super well, Andrea super well, and Liam rode well, and Cohen too. And I did not really adapt to like what the competition wanted. I just went and know what I wanted to do, but I didn't really adapt to like kite low and like all the stuff. I just did quite some technical stuff, but at the end, I mean, I got on the 4th place, and it was a good start already of starting to be better in like big competitions.
So when you came off of the Mega Loop competition, how was your mindset then? Were you like 95, 96%?
Yeah, it was way better than since the comp before.
Yeah.
That was Tarifa. It was already like, great, I know what I gotta do now, you know, where I gotta focus. And the mindset was sharp. Like when I was riding in the water, I was super calm. Like all the heats before the final, I was super like chilled. I knew what I gotta do. Then in the final, everything changed a bit. I was like, all right, I'm in the final. I was super excited, but I like didn't know. As I said, I was in the final. I was riding.
Yeah.
And but that boosted my like confidence in the water of like being calm in the comp and all the stuff.
Was there something different about your pre-competition mindset or like your preparation than previously? Like you said, you got on the water and everything was just super calm. What brought that calmness?
One big thing was we got the first kite, actually, the new one.
Okay.
And I was like, I got it now. It's all me, you know. The kite works. Now I just gotta put work in, and that helped a lot on my mind, you know, because I know I have a tool that works, you know, that is able to perform us super good. And that put my mindset really in a calm state. And then it was just me riding, you know.
So it was everything following King of the Air, like we spoke about earlier, of like, took time, got your mindset's dialed, strategy, body, mind, and now the missing piece, your equipment was dialed. Exactly. And then you hit Red Bull, calm as can be, and just go out and spot you've never ridden before. I mean, this was people's hometown spot, and you destroyed them, bro. Like just from casual going out with your Jeremy Burlando style. Did that like sink in after the competition, or did you see Mega Loop as just kind of like a training session almost for King of the Air?
It was. I didn't feel like it was a competition almost, you know. I was just like, I gotta go. I have to be there, you know. But it wasn't in my mind. Was not, oh, I gotta compete, you know. It was just like, I gotta be there and I gotta do what I do always, you know. Just go and smash it on the water. So
for people who are listening or watching who aren't familiar with the Mega Loop, the Red Bull Mega Loop, it doesn't happen every year. No. It's like a novelty competition, almost like the Eddie Aikau at Waimea Bay. Like the conditions have to be so extreme and so intense for that competition to run.
And it's hard that they line up.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years or almost 4 years. The previous one has been run 4 years before this one. So it has to be perfect, you know.
Yeah.
They need time to line up the conditions, you know.
When was the Mega Loop, when did that end? October?
September 22nd.
Okay. 22nd. So then you had like a 2 month period before Coda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and in between there was Full Power.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about it. Okay, dude, let's go to Full Power. I can't believe I forgot that. All right. Full Power. When was that?
It was 29 September.
Okay.
So just 6 days after.
All right, talk to me about that. So you left Denmark, did you go straight to Tarifa?
No, I came here.
You came home?
I came home. No, actually, Mega Loop ended 19th. So okay. I came home, stayed 2 days, sole focus at Tarifa. October, like end September, 1st of October, Tarifa is always on. You can go there and you know it's gonna be windy. So I just went, and I was not even thinking about Full Power because they haven't said nothing about it. So I was just there. And I got another new kite that was even better, and just went and trained. I felt like that magic of the new kite, and like I was in full symphony with that kite. And I just went and started training new tricks.
In Tarifa?
In Tarifa, exactly. Okay. I just got like many new tricks that period before Full Power, you know?
How did you talk to me about that. How was your progression? Was it the kite? Was it coming off of Red Bull? Was it sort of everything? Like what helped your progression?
It was the motivation from Red Bull, of course, because I saw I can do it. Of course, the new kite made everything so easier, that I was like, wow, now I can push it easily, you know, like with no fear. So that helped me a lot, and that just put my mind in a place where I was like, push and just in the comp, just do what you did for the past 1 week, you know.
Okay, let's go back to the night before full power Tarifa.
Yeah.
What was your strategy? What was your mindset? What was your preparation?
My mind was clear, because I feel like if I think too much about a comp, I just go crazy about it, you know. I start thinking so much that when I'm in the comp, I'm stressed. Instead, in the night before, I mean, of course you have thoughts going on, but I was just clear, you know.
How did you do that?
I was just thinking. I rode the same for 1 week, did the same tricks before the comp. I was like, you got it down, just have fun, you know. It's
so tomorrow it's just another day.
It's just another day, exactly.
Okay.
And the day of the comp was just chilling, you know.
Talk to me about the morning of now. What did you do? What was your preparation that morning?
My morning of full power was actually funny, man.
Yeah?
You won't believe it. I got on a bike to go to the spot, did a little drift, dude, and I crashed onto a car, man.
What?
I crashed into a car the same morning, man. And I flew like 2-3 meters, man. Because I was like, actually, because I was happy. I got to compete, you know. I was like,
yeah,
let's go, you know. And I was so hyped that I crashed into a car, man.
Bro.
For real. I got up, I was like, okay, now I'm chilled. Like, all the adrenaline was like already chilled.
Okay.
It chilled me out,
yeah.
actually. I think it was a good thing, you know. I was hyped and I was like, done. Went to the beach and unfortunately didn't break nothing. I was great, you know. It would have been a bummer if I would like break a hand or something. But fortunately it was not the case. And hit the water, you know.
Who was your first heat against?
First heat was against my brother Kimo.
Okay.
And I don't remember the third person. We were 3.
Yeah.
First heat was not that windy. So we just kind of did what we could
Actually,
do.
Let me back up a second.
Yeah.
Did you know? So I think it was a couple weeks ago. I sat down with Christopher McDonald, the wing foil world champion.
Yeah.
And there's always when I work with athletes at your level and Chris's level, at a certain point, you just know that you're going to win. You know with absolute certainty. You're like, I'm going to win this. It's like a sixth sense. It's this deep knowledge of like you're prepared, your mindset's ready, your body's ready, your gear's ready, the conditions are in your favor, and athletes just know. Did you?
Yeah.
I know you're a competitive person. You want to win. What were you thinking about winning? Did you know you were going to win? Where was your mind that morning?
I knew that if I was riding as I rode, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna
happen.
Okay.
But I wouldn't make it play with my mind too much. I was just do it, you know, because it happens like if you think you're gonna ride the same, but then you start crashing in the comp, it can blow up the whole plan.
Which is such a different mindset than King of the Air. Look at that right there. That's like a complete 180 from what you had at last year's King of the Air.
Correct.
In a 9-month period.
Correct.
Look at that. That's incredible, bro.
Correct.
Okay.
And it could play with your mind, you know, if you crash. And I was like, I'm not gonna crash.
I don't think you crashed at full power.
Just one trick in the final. I was like, I'm not gonna crash. So I had 1 week of preparation before the comp that I didn't crash one trick. I think 1 week of no crashing. I just said, these are the tricks I'm gonna do for full power. These I'm gonna train, you know. I had like my 7 tricks. I just went and trained it for like 1 week straight, 8 hours a day, just same tricks. It was almost boring, you know. It was like, I wanted to go and push, but at the same time I was like, no, you just gotta go this, you know.
So that was strategy.
It was strategy.
You were building so much strategy because your mindset and your physical body was dialed. You had that much time to devote to strategy.
Yeah.
Incredible, bro.
Yeah, and in a week. Maybe sometimes I used to take more, but that was so fast, you know.
Okay.
And a week is not too much time.
Yeah.
But it's good, I think, to do it right before the comp. Not a few months before, then you chill out a bit, and then you go to the comp, I feel you're a bit lost. But the week before, just go and do what you need to do, and you're gonna perform it, you know, because you have so much muscular memory, you know,
muscle memory,
that
right.
quite like something has to happen that you gotta crash almost, you know, and that's what I did. And of course, you gotta be ready for anything.
So you're in full power, you're going heat, and you're just taking names, bro, taking souls, just advancing.
Yeah.
What was your mindset? What were you feeling internally with every jump to the next bracket?
Just keep going, you know. Don't, like, as I said before, sometimes in the second round or in the second heat, I would just be like, I go or I win or I lose, you know. If I lose, I'm done. And there it was not like this, definitely
For the
not.
first time, though.
Yeah.
In you've been competing since you were 11?
12, yeah.
12 years old, you've been competing, and you finally were able to flip that switch.
Yeah.
That's incredible, bro.
Yeah. Full power was
Full power was it. That was
a breakthrough. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just keep going, you know, keep going. Nothing happens. Just go and do what you got to do.
So you're in the finals at full power, Tarifa. Who was the final?
It was
You?
Gio and Lucas Rudy.
Okay.
Luca was riding great.
Luca was
so good.
Yeah.
And Gio, well, he was injured, but he's still trying to perform, and I admire that a lot because he was in pain, but he wanted to do it.
I mean, he made it to the finals, bro.
He made it to the finals.
That's insane.
It's
with a broken rib.
It's to admire a lot.
So, tell me this. My question for the final. You at King of the Air and of last year and previous competitions would like watch your competitors. Were you doing that?
No.
No.
I think I didn't even see one single trick of the other person's. I was just like, my mind was like, this is the bar, that's the board, and that's the kite.
That's all that matters.
I couldn't see nothing else. I was just also looking at the landing and like the water, and that's it. Me.
This would not be a Session X podcast if I didn't talk about the science of flow state, which you and I have spoken about a lot, where what you're describing is just this hyper focus where nothing else seems to matter. The kite is an extension of you. The board is an extension of you. You're not Jeremy attached to a kite. It's all one complete system. Correct. And that's all that matters. You know that if I do this input or that input, it takes up a span of 30 meters or 27, 24 meters, how long your lines are. And it's like, that is such a hallmark characteristic of really deep flow state, which you had all the triggers necessary to get there. And I love that you had no awareness of your competitors. That is like the pinnacle of competition.
Yeah.
And it paid off, bro. And then you won. Once again, like I told you the other day, my voice was hoarse from yelling at the TV watching King of the Air. It was the same thing for all of us watching Full Power.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, so you win Full Power. How does that feel? Is it like, okay, we're not going to celebrate. That's just, okay, I'm glad I won Full Power. We move on. Tomorrow's another day. Let's get back to work.
Yeah, I think that was just the beginning to like what I trained for, And I just said, all right, that's good, but it's not done. It's just the beginning, You gotta keep on going. And I stayed in Tarifa for 3 more weeks of Levante every day. So like the day after Full Power was again 40 knots, the same condition as Full Power. And I woke up the morning, did the same thing I did in Full Power. Went, did my tricks, and then I was like, now it's time to push, I got a comp in 2 months, now I gotta push new tricks. And kept it going like this for other 3 weeks. Like it didn't stop. I didn't take like a week off or stuff. It just like the day after went straight again,
All sights set on King of the Air.
Yeah, like physically I was ready and like mentally too. So I was not tired of like a lot of kiting or stuff. I was just like so in the flow that I kept going,
Motivated and fueled by your win at Full Power.
Yeah.
After you left Tarifa, where'd you go?
After Tarifa, let me think. I think I came here. I came here again.
Did you have a long-term strategy? You knew that you had to be in Cape Town at the end of November. Did you strategize like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm resting. I want to go and I want to come be home. I want to spend time with my family. Like what was your process leading up to Kota?
So that was actually long and like I think good process. Because I came here, I was like, all right, I did 1 month of like pure kiting. Now I'm gonna switch off a bit, before Kota. If not, I'm gonna go crazy about it, I came back home, and I feel like this place for me is like really spiritual, really like relaxing. I can really take my time off, and I just came here, did other activities, went fishing, went surfing, and just took my time out of kiting. You know, if not, like I would get my mind so full of like ideas of kiting and stuff that I get into the comp and
It's like too much.
and I'm gonna
It's overload.
implode. You know.
Yeah.
So I took my time off. I took all the thoughts. The win of full power is on my wall. That's it. It's not here anymore. Just right there, and said, all right, I'll take the time off, and then now I go to Cape Town a few weeks before King of the Air, and start to get used to the spot. Also, what happened last year in last year's King of the Air, I didn't know the spot at all. I went there. Unfortunately, there was no winds, so I was like, all right, this time I go, and I get really used to the spot, perform my like 7 tricks I need to do in comp for the next 2 weeks before the comp, and just do it on the same spot. So like once I get into the comp, I know the spot, I know what I gotta do, I got the muscular memory, you know, and that was my plan, and I just stick to it, you know. I didn't go out anything, you know, I just went and did it.
So when you got to Cape Town, how early did you get? 2 weeks before the competition?
Yeah.
And you prioritized, you went and trained, got to know. So it's almost like the fifth piece of this Coda puzzle. You had the mindset, you had the recovery, you had gear, you had strategy, now you have location.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about those first few days. Was there like an excitement? Was there like, you looked at the beach, at Kite Beach at Bloberg, and were like, oh fuck man, we're back here. Like, where was your mindset at this point?
A few thoughts were a little bit negative, because
what were they?
I went back to last year's. I'm like, because of course King of the Air didn't go good last year, so I was like already, I don't like the spot, I don't like this place, you know. I was like, the wind is not that good. And after a few days, I'm like, why am I thinking this? Does it come into my head? So it's like, treat it as it's a new thing to you, you know. You never been here. It's the first time I come here again. Is what I did, and just go and perform, and just go and have fun. That's the most important thing, you know.
The best athletes are the ones who are exactly what you describe. So a lot of most or everybody, if conditions aren't going our way, we always look for an external reason. Oh, the wind is shit. The kickers are timed poorly. I'm not used to this updraft. I don't know the spot. It's gusty. Most of us, it's not just in sport, it's in life too. And that's why I think these sports are so important, is because they reflect life. If things aren't going our way with business, with relationships, we're always looking externally. And it's that powerful lesson that you described, where it's like, why are you allowing the external environment to shape your mindset? You've done all this work all year. You've had your sights set on it. Was there a session, was there a moment that happened where you were like, fuck, why am I doing this to myself? And if so, like, how did you counteract that?
Crazily. A lot of time it happens to me that gets into my mind, and starting to have like thoughts of like what people think, and what am I doing, or like I have to do this better, you know. And then I was like, these thoughts are they're not real. It's just here, you know. It's just concentrate in the real time, you know, in the present, you know. Just don't think about what's gonna happen or what people think. Just who cares? Just do it, you know. You gotta be there. And there was a session where I really like didn't give a shit about nothing anymore, man. I was just going right.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a
good positive way.
Yeah, in a positive way. Like I was like, those thoughts don't come into my mind anymore, you know. Today I was like, those thoughts are gone. I just went and kiting and have fun like I do every day here, man. And that's what pushed me like onto the right direction for Coda too, you know. I mean, full power and all the rest of the year was a good experience, but also that was a really good thing.
On all those previous experiences, you had the advantage of novelty, right? Like you hadn't competed at Red Bull, you hadn't been in the finals at Full Power, but you had been at King of the Air, you had ridden at Kite Beach and Bloberg. You did have this like negative attachment to it. So the fact that you were able to go out and have that session and like consciously choose like, nah, man, I'm here. I'm ready for Coda.
Yeah.
All right, green light. It's the night before. What's preparation the night before?
I actually kited the same day before. Start tuning my kites, be ready for the comp.
The morning of King of the Air.
No,
the day before. Okay.
The day before. And just kited, did my 7 tricks for an hour, not too long if I'm gonna get tired. And just went and sit back, stretched a bit, and went to sleep. But it took me some time to sleep, man. The thoughts were starting to like, what tricks am I gonna do? How will I like manage it logistically with the kites? Who's gonna have it? Who's gonna keep the scoring and all the stuff? And
who was your caddy?
It was Elliot.
Okay.
Brand manager. It was my dad, and it was Kimo.
Okay.
Kimo.
Who was doing scoring?
Kimo
okay.
would.
Okay.
Kimo competes and know how everything works, so he helped me a lot in that thing too.
Okay. And so you wake up the morning of Coda.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where's your brain? Where's your body?
My body, everything was just like, I want to go kiting, you know?
You didn't want to find a car to crash into?
I would love to. I would love to. Because I wanted to repeat everything I did in full power, you know?
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it was a rental and I got to pay.
Got to pay.
So, no. I wanted to go riding, man.
You just wanted to kite?
It was the first, or like maybe the second day where I saw the cloud coming over the tabletop, you know, and I was like, it's gonna be a good day, you know, and I just wanted to go because wind was rare a bit in Cape Town the last few years, so every time it was windy I just wanted to go. So I woke up the morning, I saw the wind, I was like, I need to go kiting.
So did you not even care about Coda? You just wanted to go out and kite?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was just like, I just go and do and kite, and in the meanwhile I'm competing, you know.
Yeah.
So the pressure was just gone the first day. Because we did Coda in 2 days, correct?
Yep.
First day was just like chilled. The negative thoughts were not there. Somebody, or like sometimes I would like say apply pressure to myself, because like maybe if I get second, then I'm gonna go down to the ladder. I might be up against Lorenzo or like Andrea or something like that. And I was at and it got into my mind, and then I was like, nah, I just do what I gotta do, and it won't happen, you know. First heat, I was in the first heat, first day, first everything, you know. And I was the first one in the water too. Had my like 20-minute session prior to comp to get everything dialed in, like to be able to know the spot, the wind, and how it is. And I did all my tricks before the comp and went and did them again, you know, in the first heat. So.
Was the first heat where you scored the highest trick of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highest heat and trick of the day was that.
How'd you feel after that?
I felt ready. I felt ready for the next day.
Did you know going into the competition that it was going to be a 2-day event?
No. I mean, we just knew it the same day we started running it, because we don't know the conditions.
Right.
But I felt ready for anything. Just I used to compete in freestyle back in the days, and they would run it in several days. So I was kind of used to it.
So you only kited one heat that day?
Just one heat.
Just one heat. You come out, you have an exceptional first heat, you have the highest score of the day, you already know that you've advanced to the quarters.
Yeah. I didn't know by the time I had the highest scoring, though.
You didn't care, because you weren't looking externally, you were just out kiteboarding.
I was just me. So I came back.
Talk to me about the end of that first day.
Yeah, you're like, okay, you're done, man. You're in round 3. And all right. At that moment, I felt super light. You know, I was like, oh, okay. First day is gone. Of course, there's always a little bit of pressure. You know, the pressure is gone. Just packed my stuff and went kiting again. Because I saw the wind and I still wanted to kite. You know, I kited for like 10 minutes in the whole day. I was like, nah, man, I gotta make the most out of it. So I just waited, chilled an hour, and just went back. I was kiting upwind while the comp was still running downwind. So I was just having fun, still getting my tricks, you know, getting ready, sharpening the blade.
Sharpening the 7?
Exactly. 7, the 5, 6, unfortunately was not there. But I just like, I have this, I gotta run with it. It still works, you know. So I was like, I gotta do it. And yeah, they finished. We had 5 days of gap.
What'd you do for those 5 days?
We were actually going in search of wind. It was not that windy, but it was like you had to drive 2 or 3 hours to find the wind. So I drove a lot in these days. I kited the most as I could. And
did you feel pressure? Was the pressure of the competition still there, or was it positive?
Yeah. The thoughts were still like in the competition. You know? Every session I would do, especially in that gap, it would be all for the comp, you know. So the fun was still there, but there was all that thoughts of like, this is what I have to do for the comp, and this is what I don't have to do for the comp. But I was able to deal with it, you know, because I've been through the process of like all this stuff, you know, of like applying pressure to myself and stuff, that I could like kind of escape from it, you know.
So during that 5 days between the 2 days of Coda, did you feel like you maintained a competition mindset? Every decision you made influenced, because it wasn't over. The battle had just begun.
Yeah.
And so you were able to stay in that mindset, but do it at a level that wasn't destructive. It wasn't going to cause you to spiral out of control. It just kept you sharp.
It kept me easy, you know. I was super chilled, and I just said I gotta approach it the same way I approached day one, you know.
You had a process that you had spent all year developing.
Exactly.
And you had, in your brain, you're like, you know what, this formula, I perfected it. And at Red Bull was kind of like, or at Megaloop was sort of the testing ground.
Yeah.
I perfected it at full power. And then clearly I showed up at day one of Coda. So you were able to kind of settle back into that. Were you able to relax? Like deeply relax? Or was there always like a level of I need to be ready, I need to stay sharp?
There were moments. There were like 1 hour of like no thoughts, and 1 hour of like, what I gotta do, I gotta get ready. What am I doing right now? Should I do something else, you know? And but I could control it, you know. It happens, of course. It can enter my mind, but I kind of learned how to get it out also.
What are your tools that you use to get it out of your mind? Like, do you breathe, meditate, music?
Yeah, a lot of breathing, music, of course. I love music. So breathing, music, and just think that everything is gonna be all right.
Kind of goes back to that first day in the coal plunge, huh?
Yeah.
Where everything externally is telling you one story, but internally you have the ability to tell another story.
Yeah. Like I just, my thoughts were just like, everything is gonna be good. Just keep on going and do what you know how to do, and don't stress too much about it, you know. Even my dad was telling me, man, don't stress, just do it, you know.
Your dad doesn't stress about anything.
No. No, man, he's living the chillest life, I think.
Your dad is as chill as they come. The cool is the underside of the pillow, man.
Yeah.
All right, so green light, round 2, Coda. Night before, where's your mindset? Where are you?
Night before was a bit messy, man. My mind was like thinking so much about it. Really?
Why? Did it have a different pressure? Did you know that it was the culmination?
The heat I had was against the guy that knocked me out last year in King of the Air. So it was kind of a proof. I had to prove myself, you know?
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just want to back up. Your next heat of day 2,
so
round 1, you were against Heel. And Heel's who knocked you out last year. Okay.
Last year.
Talk to me about that then.
So I had a bit of those thoughts at the night. I was thinking back. I was like, shit, this guy knocked me off, you know. But I didn't want to put myself on a position where I was gonna say, I'm gonna knock you off this time, you know. I was not thinking about that. I was just thinking about my tricks, you know. The thought of knocking him off, because he knocked me off last year, or like a revenge, was not there. It was like my mind was already over that, so I just went, and the heat started tragically, man. Honestly, I was like, fuck, you know, again, we're here again. And I did the first trick, that's why I lost my board, and then I was like, man, what the fuck am I doing again, and all this stuff. And then I was like, wait, but it's not over yet. We still got time, you know? And it's quality over quantity. And that's what I focused on. Is like, I don't have to do 1 million tricks. 3 tricks are that count, and 1 is variety.
You're thinking this as your body dragging for your board?
Yeah, exactly. I lost the board. At the moment I was stressed. I was like, shit, I gotta get back on. I saw they got me the board, and when I was on the board, I realized, don't worry about it. Just do your 3 tricks. It's what you need. You don't need anything more. And of course, I try to go the biggest as possible and stylish as possible and most consistent as possible. And that was the thing that didn't make me break down again, you know? Because normally when this happens, or you survive it, you know, that kind of pressure, or you're done.
Rise to the occasion, or?
And that's what happened to me last year. Last year I crashed the trick, I was done. And this year I'm like, it's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna approach it differently, you know? And yeah, it just went as big as the score came in. Everyone was so fired up on the beach. And I was like, all right, that was the universe that wanted to prove me, you know? Like, to put me on to test, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm really
Yeah, exactly,
good, you know?
right? You needed, because you had been up to that point, the battles that you were facing, though they were super challenging, they were lacking this, like, they were sort of just on the outskirts of what had really knocked you off last year. And then here you were in almost the exact same situation with the exact same circumstances, except everything was different.
Yeah.
Everything was different.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. It was hard, man.
Yeah.
But
so after that heat, when you advanced, left heel, moved to the next bracket, what did it feel like internally?
That was, when I got off that heat, it was that was the rock I had to move to get past, you know.
Didn't matter what came after that,
no,
because you had proven to yourself
exactly
from a year ago when you were defeated at that King of the Air, you knew that everything up to that point had mattered.
Exactly.
And at that point, everything beyond this is just, we're just here.
Blessing, man.
Yeah.
And that was my first goal was that, you know. I was like, I gotta get that rock away, and then whatever came after was just riding. Semi-final was just cruising, just.
You can tell. You're watching. You're just on an autopilot.
Yeah.
Just on an autopilot.
Yeah. Didn't crash 1 trick.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I crashed against Gio, but not against Jason.
So you know that you're in the finals at this point. What does that feel like?
Yeah.
It's clearly like it was just like the cherry on top of the ice cream. But a part of you still is like, well, okay, I should probably show up because I got something to prove.
Of course.
Tell me about that.
I mean, my mindset was, of course, I wanted to be on top of the podium. But at the same time, I was like, I'm in the final already, so I'm on the podium. And
for those that don't know, that you were up, the final was Lorenzo Casati, Andrea Principi, and Jeremy Burlando. You guys grew up together. A lot of people may not know that. Like, you guys grew up kiteboarding together. Yeah. So this final was like another day out here at El Medano.
Correct.
Like,
correct. Yeah.
What did that? I imagine that would either, or it probably both. I imagine it like brought the pressure up because it's like now it's you and the bros, and also lowers the pressure because it's just you and the bros.
Yeah, yeah.
How was it for you?
We are competitive, with. Like me and Lorenzo and Andrea, we're all super competitive with each other. Like, of course, also just riding on the water, we were just like, he did a trick, I gotta go do it better, you know? And then the other one comes and do it even better, you know? So it was just feeling, like you said, another day, but at the same time I was chilled. I was just chilled on the water, you know? Competitive way was still there. It was just all the same as in kiting like another day, you know.
How was your strategy going into the final?
It was pretty much like I planned it the whole day. I planned I gotta go big because this is King of the Air, so I gotta go huge. So I stick to my plan, started off the heat with huge tricks, and they were rewarding good in semifinals and quarterfinals. So I was like, I will just stick to it. I didn't do a single double loop before the final. So I was like, I just stick to it and see how it goes, more or less. Then the other competitors went into like the double loop scene, and they were getting good scores for it. And I was like, I had the plan already to get my double kite out. But the moment I went and got the other kite, the wind dropped, and I was like, oof. I was like, all right, still I gotta try. Maybe I got something good, but the right moment I got it, the wind was done, you know. And I'm like, fuck, you know. But I was like, no problem. I'll just go back to the 8 and do a few more big tricks, and there it finished, you know. And I was like, whatever the outcome is, no problem, you know. I got where I trained for, like in 3rd position. Like, sorry, not third. I trained for. I got where I trained for, you know,
Right.
to like get into the final of King of the Air, you know, and I got 3rd position, and that's another thing to use to get more motivation to get always higher.
It's
you know?
almost like it couldn't give you, like let's look at Lorenzo, right? Lorenzo won last year, and obviously he had his experience with kites and equipment and
Sure.
all of that, but like he had to fight a completely different battle than you did,
Yeah.
and he ended up getting second to Andrea. But yeah, I hear that like now it's like almost wouldn't have been as sweet if you had won this year. It's like now we have
Correct.
all of this coming year to
Correct.
prepare. So that brings up a great way to close the conversation. Like,
Yeah.
what are we looking for in 2024? What can we expect out of you?
This is just the beginning of my motivation, and now I want to keep on pushing and pushing even harder, you know, because everything takes its time, you know, and you just gotta be on it. If not, you won't get anywhere.
Is this year all focused on King of the Air? Is that the full goal, or is there some diversity? You looking to expand? Like what?
This year's goal is to perform great in every competition. You know, no, this one maybe I don't care. Just one King of the Air. No, I want everything.
Want it all.
You know, so train and train and train more. And first one is in Colombia this year, in end of February.
What's that?
In Colombia.
What
GK
competition?
Big Air.
In Colombia?
Yeah.
Before Lords of Tram?
Yeah. We got actually a nice tour this year.
Okay.
We got like 4 stops. One is here in Gran Canaria, and I want to.
But the first is in Colombia.
In Colombia. Yeah.
So that's just a month and a half away.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not too much.
Right.
So you gotta get back to work, man.
Let's get back to work, brother.
Yeah, man.
All right. Jeremy Burlando, my friend, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
For taking the time to chat and share. I have one final question before we wrap this up. The people need to know a definition. What's the trap?
Oh, the trap is us, man. It's what we do to get where we are. You know, it's just we send it, man.
It's the spirit.
Yeah.
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe.
It's the trap.
Yeah, man.
Bro, Jeremy, we can't wait to see you send the trap in 2024.
Thanks. Hopefully, yeah, man.
Yeah, as always, great to chat with you, my friend. I cannot
Cheers, man.
wait to see how we sharpen this edge even more in 2024. Man. And we'll look for you on the podium all around the world, my brother.
Yeah. Thanks for having me in this epic podcast, man. Can't wait to see it.
Thanks, brother.
Legend, man.